Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to another Sims 4 news video. This is a video about the fact that LittleMsSam's released a mod on Sunday, October 30th with a gardening workaround fix. Now, just as a background, there has been a bug with gardening for quite a while. The bug report's dated July 2021, and essentially plants will turn into dirt piles randomly. So if you have not already, go add a me too to the report if you have experienced this in your game. EA is very aware of this, but obviously they have not found a solution yet, and nor is this mod by LittleMsSam a solution. It's not a fix, but it is a workaround for it. Because essentially the fix checks the plants for the planted dirt pile object state, and then it'll run some checks to see whether or not it should not be in that state, and it will then put it into what is called a blossoming state. So it essentially takes the work out of doing it yourself. What I currently do is I use cheats to turn it to the blossoming state, so you won't have to do that anymore. It'll just do it for you. It runs the check when you load into the game, and it also will run it every 5 sim minutes. So if you are a mod user, I think, and you have large gardens in the game, I would think this will be very helpful to use. So I will link to that down below. It's part of her random bug fixes. It's right there. So when you do download it, if you do download it and you unzip it, because it will need to be unzipped, there are 2 files there. The one is an optional add-on. For her, it didn't make any sense that plants and trees out of season and outside would go back to dirt piles. So if you have that add-on, it'll run a check every 5 minutes and it'll put it back to growing also. I don't usually find that trees revert to dirt piles when they're out of season and outside, but they can, but they're not supposed to. They are supposed to stay mature, not blossoming, but mature because they're out of season. So, but if you're wanting that extra one, I would put both into your mod folder. That said, if you are not a mod user or can't use mods, say you're on console, you can just use the cheat, but you need to have cheats on, which is testing cheats on or testing cheats true. And then you're gonna shift click and you're gonna set gardening state, growth state, and then blossoming will then or mature will make it be fully grown. The only difference with blossoming is if you are a mod user and you have a mod that has the debug cheats enabled, MCCC is one that lets you do that. It's not enabled by default, but I've heard Wonderful Whims and the 18 Plus Wicked Whims, and I would think UI cheats, but there's a few mods out there that will do that. Then you can, again, shift click and you can spawn fruit. If you have that, I'll just set this back just to show you. I'm going to put it back to planted. That puts it back to the dirt pile. If I instead say set gardening state, growth state, mature, that option, when I shift, you don't see that spawn fruit option. So it has to be blossoming, and her mod puts it to blossoming. So that's the difference between blossoming and mature. Now, if you don't want to use cheats or mods, I had a suggestion on my video announcing the game update this week, that this week being, it'll be the week of October 31st, I don't know what day, that if you go into build mode and put your plants that have become dirt piles into your family inventory and then hit undo for all of them and then put them back out, it goes back to, I'm assuming, the mature state, but the fully grown state, whether it's mature or blossoming, doesn't really make any difference for this purpose, because when I have set it to mature, it still has fruit on it the next day in my game. So if you're curious, if you have MCCC, how to turn on those debug cheats that aren't there by default, it is not the default setting. You are going to access it from your Sim's computer. I know you can get to MCCC from the mailbox and from your Sim, but this requires the Sim's computer. So then MCCC, and then you're going to go into MCCC settings, and you're going to go into this notification console, etc. And then from there, you want to go into console command settings and see this debug commands and cheats. And the Default, as you can see, is disabled because that's where Deaderpool's symbol is, but I have it enabled. That may require you to restart your game. I think maybe it did. It's been a while since I turned it on, but it'll come up and tell you if you need to, and then you would just restart your game if you want to have access. You do need to be careful though if you have them, because one thing that it gives you access to is, if you look here, you can destroy the object. That is not something that you normally can do without that debug cheat on. So not all of those are there as an option. There's extra cheats essentially. And but that's really it. So you can use LittleMsSam's mod if you're a mod user and you don't want to have to do this all manually. Be really helpful. Or if you don't use mods but can use cheats, you can use the, you know, shift, set gardening state, growth state, and then, you know, mature or blossoming. And if you don't want to use any cheats at all, well, I have not tried this myself. I have had confirmation that the comment that I was given about putting all the dirt pile plants into your inventory, of course, I would expect those need to be plants that were previously mature that turned into dirt piles as opposed to just planted plants into your inventory, then undo all in the same, right? You don't want to go out of live mode, because once you go back to live mode, you can't undo it. You have to do it while you're still in build mode. That should help too in that case. Let me know if any of these are helpful for you, if you're going to get that mod, or whether you're going to try the cheat or the little tip about putting it into your family inventory and getting it back out, and how they work for you, in a comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Likes and comments are always appreciated, and they really help with the algorithms. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!